What is up, everybody? Jason Burmis here, and just giving you like a weird morning coffee. Got my coffee right here. Update on Kim Jung. Oh, that's weird. Don't we have Wi-Fi in here? Come on now. Thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share. So what do we know? We don't know a lot. There were some people reporting that he had already undergone some kind of surgery, gone into a coma, was officially, woken back up, but brain dead, done. What does this mean? Well, the first question is, what happened to him, right? We know that both North and South Korea, after the coronavirus outbreak in China, did take measures. We didn't hear a lot about those measures in North Korea. And I got to tell you, one of the things that I've liked about this administration is that they have not really warmongered, at least as much, against North Korea, and they've actually reached out and tried to get some normalcy there in a place where maybe there isn't a lot of normalcy. So what happens now? What happens now if Kim Jong-un is no longer with us? Since these dynasties are often ruled by bloodline, and remember his half-brother was assassinated over a year ago, and the actual assassin that did it apparently did it by accident. I mean, that's a whole nother story, but for those that are unaware of that, Kim Jong-un's brother was killed in an airport basically by being touched by a woman who thought she was part of a YouTube prank show. Like they were going to do a prank and then touch the guy, and then he died of some kind of a nerve agent. And it was shown in court that these women were basically unwitting dupes. So with little to no information, coming out of North Korea that is independent, it's all state run, we don't really know what happened. Yes, Derek Cheater is over my shoulder. Here, I'm over at the pizza shop. Nobody's over here right now if you want to take a look. I'm the only one in here. My buddy had to go drop off his son, and he wanted me to stay just in case a delivery came in. And yes, I am wearing my little mask so that when I walk out of here, I don't get a filthy look, or I can walk in and get a coffee and not have somebody freak out. So what are the other big updates other than Kim Jong-un? And believe me, everybody needs to follow that story because, South Korea is already a first world ally. It's where a lot of our production takes place for our technology. For those that are unaware, there are many people of Asian descent out there throughout the world that want to be Korean. And obviously not North Korean, South Korean. Like that's the envy, is to be those people because of their nation state, because of their prowess, etc. I had people who visited Thailand to tell me about that. So what else do we got? Well, the market, right? Market not doing great this morning. I was looking, and it looked like the Dow was already at least a couple hundred points down, maybe a little bit more. And then yesterday, historically, I don't know where it is now, oil ends at negative. Oil ends at negative $37. What kind of a weird alterverse are we living in times when world leaders are being infected with viruses, like Boris Johnson, recovering, then other world leaders are basically falling ill? Maybe it's the virus, maybe it's not. Okay. You've got oil going to negative on the stock market. You have stocks continuing to fall in a market. Remember, the New York Stock Exchange is all online right now. All of it. Every little bit of it. Every little bit of it. All right. So what else do we got? We got negative stocks. If you tuned into Mixed Martial Mindset last night, you'll find out that the rumors are aflowing via Brandon Schaub that, in fact, Fight Island was an island that was apparently owned by Jeffrey Epstein. Only 26 thumbs up. Can we get the thumbs up? 150 people watching. So let me reiterate that. For those that didn't know, Dana White was working as hard as he could to try to keep UFC 249 together, and then he was going to have it It was supposedly at an undisclosed location, but it wasn't quite Fight Island yet. But he said he was going to do Fight Island weekly. Well, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. It looks like they're going to hold it in a different area weekly. May 9th may be the first event. But from what Schaub said, he has several close sources that say that the island that they were trying to purchase was owned by Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I don't think it was Little St. James. I think more than likely it was probably a part of Greater St. James. I just don't know how anybody could purchase Little St. James and do anything on it, except for run an investigation that the FBI won't do. You know, and if you need to follow somebody that's going to let you know that the FBI is part of the cover-up crew, that the Department of Justice is part of the cover-up crew for Epstein and his cronies and his network, you need to follow Maria Farmer at Artistic Whistleblower. Maria Farmer, for those that don't know, is the first person on record to go to the police, the NYPD, and the FBI over Epstein. 100% in 1996. In 1996, and remember, it takes until 2008, over a decade, for them to even do the initial Palm Beach investigation. And she has said some startling things, named some startling names. Whitney Webb is slowly releasing parts of that interview. I'm in touch with her. Apparently she's spoken to David Icke. I believe she's trying to contact Sean Atwood. I'm still waiting for Sean Atwood's people to get back to me so I can tell you when I'm going to be going on that show. Obviously, we're going to be discussing every angle of Epstein on that show. He's got a large audience, and I think that people need to hear some of the things that they don't want to hear. A lot of people don't want to hear from Maria Farmer that Jeffrey Epstein made a ton of his money with his buddy, not just Les Wexner, who she calls the head of the snake, right? Not just Bill Gates, who plenty of you are aware of is not a good person, but who? Donald Trump. Oh, are you going to unsubscribe because a woman told the truth and I reported on it? I've had plenty of unsubscribers in the past few days. Another important update. So I know that a lot of you out there are continuing to challenge my coronavirus reporting. The numbers in New York especially, that I'm basically trying to say, in the last 40 or so days, we have 17,000 plus deaths that are above the norm. I know that's hard for some people to accept, but those are the real numbers. So, yep, unsubscribe. Thanks, Ryan. You can unsubscribe all you like. So anyway, as you guys know, I did a video on that days ago, and then I backed those numbers up again yesterday during Mixed Martial Mindset. So many of you pointed to James Corbett's lies, damn lies, and statistics, right? I contacted James. I love James. I think James does some of the best work out there. That doesn't mean I have to agree with him all the time. So I contacted James Corbett. James has now taken a look at some of the information. He's asked me for a couple sources. When I get back home, I'm going to send him a couple sites for those sources and expect, me and James to talk about it, because that's what people do. They don't just say something and then repeat or parrot it, right? People that are genuine, they take a look at information, they use discernment, and then they make a decision and report on that. I'm never going to be 100% in lockstep with anybody. And that shows that we're human beings and that we have a difference of opinion, and that is a good thing. That's how we weed out the truth, and we get rid of Johnny nonsense and imaginary heroes on message boards that don't exist, right? And all the disinformation that comes with that. Again, you can look at that guidance. 17,000 more people died in a 40-day period in New York City. What don't you get than the average? Okay, those are real. That's real numbers. Again, circuses, you obviously have a mental illness if you can't just go look at the numbers. Okay, in New York State, over the last several years, and we brought up the 2015, 2016, 2017 numbers, about 4,500 people in the entire state die of pneumonia, which would be the flu. Okay, 4,500. We did those numbers in less than a week. 4,500. Okay. And for all those people that think that they're just marking everybody down COVID, go check my Twitter feed. That's not what's happening. In fact, there were 9,000 plus people that said unknown that are not a part of that. Then they had probable cases, then they had confirmed cases. So again, you can go with your confirmation bias and you can go with your headline, or you can look at the actual numbers, you can look at the actual deaths, and start to realize something is going on. And again, if it's not COVID-19, if it's not a bioweapon, please tell me what it is. And the other thing is that when I say these things, people automatically believe that I'm pro-lockdown, not pro-lockdown, okay? No, actually, New York State is huge, Mark Courtney. It's massive. I'm in a nice, very cool neighborhood where I know my friends and family, and I've set up a community here. Okay, we're 180 miles away from the city. There are plenty of cows around. Okay, I mean, you great, Mark. The rest of the country laughs at New York. Great, I'm so glad that they all laugh at New York. Like, that makes a difference to me. That doesn't mean I love my friends and family that live here any less. And that doesn't mean that New York doesn't have some good qualities to it. I don't know what else to say. So, once again, these deaths are happening. I'm not pro-lockdown at all. That doesn't mean they're the same thing. I've never called for that. They're not Fauci's numbers, circuses. Okay, that's the other thing. That's your mental illness. Okay, that's where you're making stuff up. No, the state has the numbers. Okay, the morgues get the death certificates. That's how it actually works. All right, it's not Tony Fauci just deciding how many people he wants to say died. That's ridiculous. Yes, Lizard Heart, I'll see you later too. You can continue to go watch somebody else ramble. But the thing is that facts are facts, and I continue to watch Cuomo's briefings every single day, and the one thing that I can sympathize with him is that when he talks about people thinking that this is a whole hoax and that nobody's died. Well, I can't go with that, okay? Okay, no, I can't go with that. I know a nurse at Stony Brook. I know a nurse in Queens. I know a medical professional in Brooklyn. I think that Dr. Seidel has saved a ton of lives by exposing the fact that once intubated, you have an 80% chance of death, and that they should be using other methods. And they are now. And that's why I believe the mortality rate has gone down. No, Ryan, right now lockdown is not taking a toll on me. I continue to report the facts. So, again, no, not every death is registered as a COVID-19 fatality. Again, you're mentally ill if you believe that. If you think that everybody that has died, okay, everybody that has died is marked COVID-19, you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. That's not a reality. That is not what's happening. People are still dying of murder, of accidents, of heart attacks. You can say that, but you're not right. Okay? Listen, again, the tests I've talked about a million times and how they're varying. And I've talked about my own cousin coming up negative on a test that she tried to get 3 times, and then them contacting her last week, her going to Bear Mountain and now testing positive. Okay, we've talked about the problems with the test. We talked about the specifics of the tests with Dr. Shiva, okay, the RNA sequence, etc., all that stuff. The bottom line is, whether you had a test or not, you got 17,000 extra deaths in New York State over a 40-day period. Those are the numbers, and you can deny those numbers if you like, but I'm going to go to a place called reality, okay, and that's what we'll do. So, guys, thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share, and make sure to go hit the GoFundMe if you like my work. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. I will be seeing you later on the flip side.